Lesson 10F, Exercises 2 and 3. Speaker 1.
One of the main problems is that they import food from all over the world. Often a simple packet of green beans has flown halfway around the world before it reaches the shelf. Think of the effect this has on air pollution. Consumers have become so used to seeing perfect produce on shelves that they have forgotten what real food looks like. They want apples that have been polished. They want lemons that have been made artificially shiny by adding a layer of, the word has just slipped my mind. But it's the stuff you make candles out of. So, for the average consumer, natural food now looks inadequate. The problem with this is that...
Speaker 2.
Although the decisions are always made by the leaders of a country, it's usually the ordinary civilians, including innocent children, who suffer as a consequence. And the suffering continues for years or even decades, especially when certain forms of weapon are used. Hundreds of children in Cambodia are killed or injured every year when they accidentally step on one of those small bombs that soldiers bury in the ground. The correct word escapes me for the moment, but it's clear in my mind that this particular kind of weapon should be banned. The victims are often nothing to do with the conflict.
Speaker 3.
Part of the problem is that they are not a good test of a student's knowledge or ability. They merely test how good that student is at performing under pressure. There are many reasons why a clever, well-prepared student might do badly under those circumstances. He or she might not be feeling 100% that day, or may be suffering from a headache. Is it right that the whole academic future of that person should be decided on one afternoon? A friend of mine suffers from, I can't quite remember what it's called, but it's a kind of allergy that's caused by plants and flowers, particularly in the spring and summer during exam season. She gets a headache, a runny nose, itchy eyes, and finds it impossible to concentrate. And yet she's one of the cleverest people I know.
Speaker 4. There are two main reasons why I would like to put an end to it. Firstly, because of the mess it creates. When people get bored with it, they often spit it out onto the pavement where it gets trodden into the paving stones. It's almost impossible to clean off, and so gradually the pavements in our cities get more and more covered with ugly dark blotches. The other thing I can't stand is the way it looks when people are chewing it. Maybe I'm a bit of a snob, but I think it looks really uncouth. The worst thing is when people blow... what are those things you can blow with it? The word is on the tip of my tongue. No, sorry, I can't remember. Anyway, it looks bad. Speaker 5.
I honestly believe that the world would be a much better place if they did not exist, and a much healthier place too, because in biting humans they transfer diseases from one person to another. If they no longer existed, some very serious diseases would disappear overnight. The most obvious of these is... what's that word? I can't put my finger on it at the moment, but it's a disease which is carried by mosquitoes and infects millions of people in hot countries. It's often fatal. We'd certainly be glad to see the back of mosquitoes. And yet, creatures like that never seem to be endangered. It's always cute, cuddly animals like giant pandas that are in danger.